Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca, and today I will be presenting my dissertation, which explores whether a brief 5-minute audio intervention can enhance self-compassion. To begin with, self-compassion refers to the ability to comfort oneself during times of distress, specifically through self-kindness, common humanity, that is recognizing shared human experience and maintaining mindful awareness. A growing body of research shows that self-compassion is associated with improved psychological well-being, including lower levels of anxiety, depression, and self-criticism. However, despite its benefits, engaging in self-compassion can be challenging. Much of the existing research has focused on multi-weeks programs or longer audio-based practices delivered over several days or weeks. These interventions often require significant investment of time and effort, which may be impractical for individuals with busy schedules, therefore limiting accessibility to psychological support. One study utilized a single 7-minute mindfulness self-compassion practice. It primarily focused on reducing anxiety or pain rather than improving self-compassion. As a result, there remains limited understanding of whether a single brief audio intervention can effectively enhance self-compassion. And this highlights an important research gap and the need for more brief and accessible approaches. Therefore, the present study aims to investigate whether a 5-minute self-compassion audio could increase self-compassion. It was hypothesized that participants in the audio group could show a greater increase in self-compassion as compared to those in the control group. To investigate this, a 2x2 mixed measure ANOVA was conducted to examine both changes over time between pre-test and post-test, as well as differences between the audio and control groups. The dependent variable, self-compassion, was measured using the State Self-Compassion Scale, long form, developed by Christine Neff. A total of 85 participants were randomly assigned to one of the two conditions through Sci2Kit, an audio intervention group who listened to a 5-minute guided self-compassion audio, or a control group who spent 5 minutes sitting in silence. Participants were aged 18 and above, able to understand English or Welsh, and provided informed consent. Self-compassion was measured before and immediately after the intervention using the State Self-Compassion Scale long form. It is an 18-item self-report questionnaire that assesses the 3 dimensions of self-compassion. Firstly, self-kindness versus self-judgment, common humanity versus isolation, and lastly, mindfulness versus over-identifications. Items are rated on a 5-point Likert scale ranging from 1, not at all true for me, to 5, very true for me, with higher scores indicating greater self-compassion. Intervention. The 5-minute guided audio used in this study is called the Self-Compassion Break, developed by Christine Neff. To give you a clearer idea, here is a brief extract from the transcript. The exercise invites participants to reflect on a distressing yet manageable situation from their own lives. They are then guided through recognizing suffering, acknowledging common humanity, and responding with self-kindness. This study received ethical approval from the Bangor University Ethics Committee and adhered to BPS and BACP ethical guidelines. Participants were fully informed of their rights, including confidentiality and withdrawal. Appropriate resources were also provided to minimize potential distress, if any, and ensure participants' well-being. Moving on to the results, as illustrated in the line graph, self-compassion increased significantly over time across all participants. Both the audio and control group reported higher self-compassion score at post-test as compared to pre-test. However, examining the interaction between time and condition, no significant difference was observed between the audio and control groups. And this suggests that the intervention did not outperform the control condition. When examining the subcomponents of self-compassion, a significant effect was found for the mindfulness subscale. The audio group, as shown by the blue line, demonstrated a greater increase in mindfulness from pre-test to post-test compared to the control group, as shown by the red line. This suggests that the intervention had a specific effect on mindfulness rather than on self-compassion as a whole. In terms of participants' feedback, responses were generally positive, with rating endorsing in the upper range. Approximately 38% of participants found the activity helpful. Around 42% participants indicated that they could participate again, and over half of the participants, approximately 58%, reported that they could recommend the activities to others. However, it is worth noting that these positive experiences did not translate into a significant increase in self-compassion. Discussion. Overall, the hypothesis was not supported. A 5 minutes audio intervention did not lead to an increase in self-compassion. Though self-compassion increased from pre-test to post-test, this improvement was observed across both groups and therefore cannot be attributed specifically to the intervention itself. This may reflect other factors such as measurement reactivity, increased familiarity with the questionnaire, self-reflection during the task. In other words, simply completing the self-compassion measure at pre-test may have heightened participants' awareness of their internal experiences, thereby facilitating changes over time regardless of the condition they are being put in. A key finding was the significant improvement in mindfulness. The significant improvement in mindfulness indicates that the audio intervention was effective in enhancing present moment awareness, fostering a non-judgmental stance towards internal experiences. This can be explained by the structures of the audio intervention, which guide participants through the three components of self-compassion. The exercise explicitly begins with mindfulness by encouraging participants to recognize, acknowledging their distress before moving into common humanity and self-kindness, thereby directing targeting awareness and emotional recognition. Research demonstrates that mindfulness is a more readily modifier component of self-compassion that can be cultivated quickly through brief guided practices. In contrast, other components such as self-kindness may require deeper practice before change occurs. Additionally, participants' positive feedback then reflects immediate relaxation, a temporary sense of emotional comfort experienced during the intervention. And this aligns with the observed increase in mindfulness. From a counseling perspective, these findings offer several important implications. Firstly, the improvement in mindfulness suggests that self-compassion is a multifaceted construct with components that may respond differently to intervention. That's the importance of viewing self-compassion as a gradual and ongoing process rather than an outcome that can be achieved through a single brief exposures. These findings also extend current theoretical models by suggesting that early changes in self-compassion may occur initially at the present moment awareness. In this sense, mindfulness may function as a foundation for self-compassion, enabling individuals to first recognize and remain with their distress before responding with self-compassion. For counseling practice, brief audio-based practices may be incorporated as supportive tools rather than standalone interventions. Research shows that integrating a 5-minute brief self-compassion audio meditation alongside other approaches, such as self-compassionate writing, produces greater improvements than single component interventions. Given that these exercises are low cost and easily accessible, they can be easily integrated into everyday routines. For instance, before sessions, during breaks, or between sessions to support reflection, grounding, or emotional regulation. This may help clients continue engaging with therapeutic skills outside the sessions and reinforce learning in everyday contexts. Such practices may be particularly beneficial for clients who feel overwhelmed by longer intervention, who are new to mindfulness and self-compassion work. Several limitations should be considered. Firstly, the samples largely comprise young adults, with 81% aged between 18 and 26. Additionally, the samples was predominantly female, with 68 females and only 15 males, resulting in an imbalanced distribution across both conditions. As we can see, there were only 6 males in the audio group and 9 males in the control group, compared to 33 females in the audio group and 35 females in the control group. Research indicates that self-compassion varies across gender and age groups. This imbalance may have contributed to similar response patterns, as individuals from similar demographic backgrounds may exhibit comparable levels of self-compassion, and this limits the generalizability of the finding. As such, future research should aim to recruit more diverse and representative samples. Conclusion: the findings do not support the effectiveness of a 5-minute self-compassion audio intervention for increasing self-compassion. However, a significant improvement was observed in mindfulness, indicating that mindfulness may act as a gateway in the development of self-compassion over time. A key takeaway from this study is that brief audio intervention is not a substitute for therapy, but They may serve as an entry point for developing self-compassion by fostering greater awareness and openness. Here are all my references. Thank you for listening.